Um, okay. So he's here. He's just getting into position with everything. But this is my second time doing this. So the first time um, we were discussing nutritional solutions for the sickle cell community, really building upon culturally specific foods that we can be eating on a regular basis that have anti-inflammatory properties associated with it. And I think that was a big part of. Dr. Oji, how you doing, brother? Let me make sure we can hear you. So our focus was the nutritional aspect of it, and a lot of the information that I discussed as far as the nutritional solutions for sickle cell. Um, I would say a good portion of it came from up under the mentorship of Dr. Oji, him being a naturopathic physician for over 30 years. He's had um, a great influence on our family as far as being able to manage sickle cell in a non-invasive way. And it's not, of course, this is a sickle cell conversation, but a lot of the points that are going to be brought up in this discussion today, as far as using food as medicine, it really isn't limited to the sickle cell community. These are habits that if we practice, as individuals or it's just our family structures, I mean, it's going to produce um, good conditions within our body so that we can maintain health. So one of the products that Dr. Oji has developed is Dioscovite, which is another way of saying the African yam vitamin. And so, some history about that is that, sickle cell developed as an adaptation to malaria, but it was the Bantu African yam farmers that were moving through Africa and were able to cultivate these yams. And in the process of cultivating the yams, they were able to maintain a resistance to malaria while also not necessarily um, succumbing to sickle cell anemia. And so that is what we discussed during our last session, where we had a video from Fatima Jackson out of Howard University, and she was discussing plant parasite people coevolution, and she used the concept of cassava and the gambia. And I think there's definitely a beautiful intersection between some of the work that Fatima Jackson is doing and also the work of Dr. Oji as well. While she specifically was focusing on cassava, Dr. Oji is specifically focusing on the African yam, as well as other, plant-based nutrition plans that we can implement into our daily lives to optimize our health and our wellness, which is important because in the Western world, everything is upside down and backwards. So before we hear about the things that can keep us healthy, we're bombarded with the things that will make us sick. So to be able to have somebody who's focusing on nutrition come in and drop a few jewels on us is a miracle in itself. Um, Dr. Oji,
Is audio working?
Dr. Oji, is your audio, your Dioscovite and the nutritional program for the sickle cell community, your influence in developing Dioscovite as a molecular solution to the sickle cell um, crisis, and also the nutrition plan that you advise as a naturopathic physician and being able to control and manage sickle cell.
No, don't say anything about physician. Just say a holistic professional.
A holistic professional.
Don't say anything about physician. No, we're not physicians. Just a holistic professional.
Okay. So from this point where we are right now, Dr. Oji, you can just lead in into your conversation now.
Okay. Yes, wonderful. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. It is a very great pleasure to speak to you about our nutritional support for sickle cell. And it's very exciting because we know that nutrition is fundamental for everybody, for human survival. And so proper nutrition is critical for everybody. And thank God that they led us to identify certain nutrients that are helpful in the areas of sickle cell. And that's what we'd like to share with you today. So through scientific research and everything, we have been able to do extensive work in the area of sickle cell anemia. We realized that, like this is showing on the screen, when the cells are treated with our products, it helped them to maintain their normal shape. But the ones that were not treated with it, the one on the screen, it make them sickle. And so, and when they cells sickle like this, that's when they cause trouble because they are very fragile. They break down very quickly. But then, when the cells receive the dietary supplement that we have patented and registered and trademarked, it makes the cells strong and they remain long in the blood, and you're able to build your own blood. So this is really something that we'd like to share with our community, with sickle cell communities, so that they will know everybody has a right to choose nutrition, and the knowledge of proper nutrition is a requirement and a human right for everybody. Exactly the one on the screen here, showing that the cells do not sickle when they receive our products. This is what happens at the molecular level and the cellular level. So this is very, very exciting, and that's the information that everybody needs to be able to take care of their own health. Yeah, you have a legal right and a human right, a God's given right to be able to choose the proper nutrition, and that's what we're trying to provide for you, to be able to take care of your health, your health. So this is a very important time in the history of sickle cell, because now science have proven that there are certain things you can do utilizing our dietary supplement, we call Dioscovite. Then it will enable you to be able to build your own blood and solve a lot of the problems that afflict people who do not have this proper knowledge and this proper nutrients that have been shown to really help people with sickle. Here, the bottle you see is what the product looks like. And so all you do is just take just about 1 milliliter a day. And it's better to do that preventively. Actually, don't wait until the crisis comes on. Just after breakfast, you just put 1 ml of this product in water and drink it. And do that on a daily basis. So they're going to provide adequate energy, because it supplies a lot of oxygen and energy, and help you deal with the problem that comes with anemia and weakness due to low blood count. It also helps you to boost your blood count, because the cells are no longer being destroyed. And so it enables you to boost your blood count and your blood and your energy, so that you'll be able to take care of yourself. So this is a very important time, and this is a time we want families and friends to support each other. Family members, we put out maybe about $20 after every paycheck towards supporting somebody with sickle cell anemia. Family, you don't have to wait for programs outside the family. You already have, if you can put food on your table, you can provide support for family members who need Dioscovite on a daily basis. And not only people with sickle cell need this, also it's good for energy. So people in sports need it, and everybody need it, because life on Earth depends on availability of energy to be able to function. So the product will give you energy, and it will boost your blood count, and all these type of things are what everybody in the family need. And so as a result of that, let that be a family program where you support each other with just a daily use of Dioscovite preventively, and then each other putting out a little money towards making the Dioscovite available to family members. So this program, I'm very happy to work with Sister Nadina and then Christen Brown, Brown. These are two people who can help you in California and other places in getting this product into your hands, and through also our websites and their website, you'll be able to get these things and everybody start using it and be able to make the necessary changes for you to have the energy that you need to function as a human being. So the whole thing is, I'm going to give you a number of contacts. If you have any questions, call me at 918-850-4240. And then for your orders, you can order Dioscovite in dioscovite.com. And then also send us email, which we can use for newsletters to you. Dioscovite.
Dr. Oji, there's a question that just came in. It says, what is the history around the yam that makes this the right choice for the sickle cell community? What's the history behind it?
The history behind it is that I did analysis of the yam in the laboratory because I saw increased cases of sickle cell in this country. And so I did analysis of the yam and found out that it has this active ingredient, thiocyanate. So that's how it all started. I analyzed that and then I compared that with American foods, which really have a negligible amount of thiocyanate. So I found the African foods had a lot of the thiocyanate, and but the American food did not have it. So that's the whole history behind, and that's why we call it yam vitamin. All right.
So for the people that don't know how the thiocyanate is impacting the blood, can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yes. How it impacts in the blood is it supplies a lot of oxygen. And the cells that have oxygen do not sickle. And that, if you can show back the thing on this you showed on the screen, on the last slide you showed on the screen about the cell. Yes, here you go. This is what it is. The cells you see on the screen here are the ones that receive Dioscovite. And they supplied a lot of oxygen. And when we're trying to make them sickle, we could not make them sickle because we use nitrogen gas to take out oxygen from all these cells, including these ones that receive adequate amount of thiocyanate. And the one that receive adequate amount of thiocyanate, nothing could make them sickle. But the one that did not, and that's the beauty of our product. When cells now looking normal, like those who don't have sickle cell, then they remain in the blood a normal lifespan. And then you're able to build your own blood. And it gives you a lot of energy.
Having a hard time hearing him on the
phone. You may be born with a sickle cell gene, but by taking Dioscovite, it reverses the negative effect of the sickle cell gene by making cells normal. And this is the kind of cell that those who don't have sickle cell have, and therefore you become asymptomatic.
Christen, can you have him speak closer to his phone?
And the one that did not receive Dioscovite, can you show the other slide that's sickle?
Dr. Oji, they're asking if you could speak a little closer to your phone. Someone was having a little trouble hearing you.
Yeah, when you went on the monologue to talk about this, we missed pretty much all of that based on the audio.
Okay. Can you, Dr. Oji, can you go over that one more time?
Yes.
Okay, Antoine, can you hear him?
Yeah, I just need him to hold it. If he holds it, whenever he holds his phone closest to his mouth, then we hear him. But when he holds it away from his mouth, then we don't hear him.
Okay, they said if you can hold the phone a little closer to your mouth.
The way that it was positioned initially.
Okay.
Because his voice is falling away from the phone.
No?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Can everyone see the cells on the screen?
Yes.
Can everybody see the screen?
Yes, we can hear him.
Okay, everybody can hear you and see the cells on the screen.
Okay. Now, this is a product of our research. We were able to demonstrate that the cells that receive Dioscovite, they look normal instead of looking sickle. And when they look normal like this, they act normal. And this is the kind of cell that you find in people who do not have sickle cell in the first place. And so the Dioscovite will normalize the shape and function of the cells so that you're able to build your own blood and you're able to have enough energy. And that's the beauty of the whole thing, our product does. And so when you have a lot of energy because of the normal shape and the normal function of Dioscovite, of sickle cell, the normal function of sickle cells, then that's what you need to remain in good health. That's how I started doing the research. And I thank God that we were able to do this thing and show this thing that we can show people how this thing works at a cellular level by making the cells normal instead of being sickle. And that's what makes the sickle cell condition very, very good and almost asymptomatic.
Okay, Dr.
You're able to be your own blood and you're able to have a lot of energy.
Dr. Ovid, we have a few questions that came in. One of the questions is, I heard about the wild yam years ago to help with sickle cell, but didn't know it was an actual product. How long has this product been around?
Okay. The product has been around for 34 years now. Been around for 34 years now. And been in the market all this time. And people are being healed when they take this thing preventively. That's the whole thing. People need to take that. Don't wait until you have crisis before you start taking it. You need to take that immediately after breakfast. You just need only 1 ml after breakfast and take that preventively, and that's going to help you remain in good health at the comfort of your own home.
Okay, and then we have another question. Is the supplement safe for children? Are there any side effects and any interactions with other symptoms? So I guess that last one is, does it have any symptoms when you take it? Is it safe for children, and are there any side effects?
Right, those are good questions. Number one, no side effects as long as you remain within the recommended dosage. Number two, it is safe for children at the age of 6 months. Actually, we recommend when mothers are pregnant and the children have been diagnosed with sickle cell in the womb, the mother should start taking it even before the child is born. And then after the child is born, when the child turns 6 months, when sickle cell begins, then the baby should start getting that in a bottle. Just take only about 0.5 ml. That's when the baby should start taking it. And so there's no interaction because these are dietary supplements. They are food in a bottle. So as long as you take it within the normal recommended dosage, there are no side effects. And it's something that really, not just people with SS, but everybody should really be on it because I call it body tonic. It's a food, it's something nutrient that's supposed to be in the food, but they're not. And therefore, it's good for everybody to supplement it because there's so many other health benefits that come with it.
Excellent. So the clarification came in for the question, and it was, does it have any interactions with other medications? So if somebody is on a medication.
Right, that's a good question. We recommend whatever you're taking, You need to allow 2 hours. You take the Dioscovite after breakfast, then you can take whatever you're taking after 2 hours to prevent any possible interruption.
Okay. All right. And then we have a question that came in. It says, if people want to switch up their diet rather than take the supplement, what could we do? And I think I might be able to chime in on that question. We don't want to have diets. We want to have nutrition plans, right? The root word of diet is die, and we want to live a long, healthy life. And when we think about rather than take the supplement, the focus of the supplement is to give us the nutrients that's not available in the standard American diet. So the reason why we're using the supplement is because the Western way of eating is not conducive to our genetics. It's not feeding us on a molecular level, which is why we're using the supplement. But Dr. Oji, if you want to chime in as well, the question was, if people want to switch up their nutrition plans rather than take the supplement, what could we do? So you might want to go into ABC.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Right. Actually, both of them are necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, they are necessary because we're gonna tell you you cannot eat. That's what I found out at the beginning of the research. The reason why there was such a high frequency of sickle cell anemia in America is because the American food is very, very deficient in the nutritional thiocyanate. And so you cannot get it from just switching your diet only. But you're gonna do that. You take our Dioscovite, you also have to do our clean colon formula, which will help you to get rid of constipation. So that comes with your order. When you order Dioscovite, we sell Dioscovite to you, but then also we give to you that formula that will enable you to take care of your clean colon. Okay, enable you to move about 3 or 4 times a day, and enable you to give a lot of energy by providing enzyme and fiber to be able to digest the food you're eating. But it's gonna come, the complete information about that will come with your order. You cannot just by eating a standard American diet, you cannot get adequate therapeutic dose. You cannot get effective dosage of Dioscovite just by switching. You need to do both of them.
Okay. There's another question that came in. It says, how long? Okay, no, this is, will this Dioscovite help with iron overload for patients with sickle cell?
Excellent. He has very, very well. He has excellent very well because thiocyanate, the active ingredient in Dioscovite, it binds with excess iron and takes it out. It takes out excess iron from the body. So it's really very effective in taking out excess iron. Okay?
Okay. And then another question is, how long would you say it takes to get it in your system so you can start receiving the benefits of Dioscovite?
Right, people are different. Concept of biochemical individuality were different. People respond at different rates. But I think we've had people who responded within 2 weeks or a month or something like that. But the whole thing, the first thing we notice is when people take that, the first reaction is energy boom, energy burst. They have a lot of energy because of the fact that it gives a lot of oxygen to the body. Everybody has that same benefit across the board. So, in other words, people will take different rates, but immediately, most people will notice the immediate effects, the benefit of this by having energy bursts.
Okay.
All right.
We have a follow-up question in regards to your colon cleaning formula. They wanted to hear it one more time.
Yes. Colon cleaning formula is something we need to give those who purchase our products because they cannot be done in isolation. So when you get our product, we'll give you a complete package of that clean colon formula.
Okay. Okay. That seems like that was the Oh, since we're doing this for, there's something about our, okay, so the question is, since this is being done for preventative measures, shouldn't we be doing something about our morning nutrition? So they're asking, do you have a regimen for morning nutrition for when they wake up and they're rising and they're getting their day started? Is there a best way to move into the day with nutrients? I know you talk to me about our family. You always say, get up and the first thing you should do is have some warm water with some lime to help remove the mucus. And then the lime also makes the water more alkaline. And then we can also take the Dioscovite with warm water as well to get the day started. And I know you also recommend eating an apple before every meal because of the high fiber content of the apple, which helps us assimilate the nutrients from our other meals while also eliminating, things that are not necessarily easily assimilated. Do you have anything else that you'd like to touch on as far as the routine for the rising, or what do you do, Dr. Oji, for your rising?
Right. What I told you to do is what I do, and as a part of the clean colon formula. And I'm glad your family is already a model for that. You're already doing that and getting the benefit of it. So that'll be the beginning point of anybody hearing this program now, to start with that, what you're doing in terms of the warm water and with the lime on rising, all right? And then also taking Dioscovite in warm water. That's a critically important. All those things are necessary, but you already you are a perfect model for what we're talking about. We're trying to get people everywhere to do the same thing your family is doing and getting the great benefit you're getting.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the thing about it is it has to be a complete package, because you're already doing the Dioscovite, you're already doing the clean colon, all these type of things are what every family need to be able to maximize the benefit they get from the Dioscovite program.
Okay, another question and comment came in. I was grateful to be on Dioscovite for 2 months, and the effects were truly amazing. However, my heart began to palpate. Is there any connection between my rate and Dioscovite? I think that might have been
My heart rate.
Yeah, my heart. Is there any connection between my heart rate and Dioscovite?
If you start to palpitate, it means that you need a lower dosage.
Okay.
Whatever you were taking that started causing the palpitation, like I told you, something called biochemical individuality. Now, we're all different. Some people, the studies they did somewhere, they found out that in inbred rats, some of them needed only 500 milligrams of vitamin C to be okay, and others needed 1,000 to be okay. So even though they were inbred, because of the concept of biochemical individuality, people need different doses for their own particular system. So if you start to palpitate, all you need to do is, if you were taking 1 ml, you start taking only half an ml. That will stop the palpitation.
Dr. Oji, can you go into what palpitation is?
Okay, palpitation is when the heart rate increases, when the heart beats faster than it should. All right?
Yes.
Again, too, like I said, people are different. And the main function of Dioscovite is to supply a lot of oxygen. So if you start to palpitate, it means that oxygen should be reduced. And all you do is instead of taking a full dosage, you just take half a meal.
Okay.
Of half the dosage we're doing. And if it continues to do that, then you may start skipping days before taking it. Okay.
I'm glad that was an excellent question. I'm glad that came in. We have a follow-up question. It says, do you have any video testimonies or documented testimonies of people who are already consuming this extract?
Oh yes, you can send them the
Abraham.
Abraham video, right?
Yes.
Yeah, send it to them. Okay, that's a very one of the documentations we have on video. Okay.
Okay.
Really quickly, Kristen, if you have that available to add to your screen share at one point in time, that'd be great to just show that video to us at some point in time through the later portion of this, okay?
Okay, let me see what I can do.
Okay.
I believe this might be something that's easy to find here.
If you could ask him while you're looking for that. Okay, cool. Dioscovite nutritional supplement.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So you already showed it to them, right?
They haven't seen this one yet.
Can you
So send it to them.
can you widen the screen and just play it? Oh, it's 11 minutes. Okay, so go ahead. Do you have audio?
How is that? Can you hear it?
No.
No.
Okay,
Can't
let
hear.
me see.
Hello, everybody. My name is Cornell Abraham. I'm the president of the Sickle Cell Support Group.
So nobody can hear that?
We can.
I don't know.
We
what
can
else
hear.
to do.
We can hear
I don't know
that.
what else to do.
Go ahead, play that. We can hear that.
Which is the foundation here in the state of Georgia. I'm just going to tell you a little information about the Dioscovite that we do use here. We do recommend to a lot of our patients, our sickle cell patients. I'm also a sickle cell patient myself. I do suffer from sickle cell disease, SS. I do use the Dioscovite on the daily basis as well as for health maintenance. And the reason I use this particular product and tell people about it is for the fact that it's a natural product. There's no side effects, and it has high therapeutic value. We're talking about keeping people out of the hospital. So to me, that was the strongest point in that particular supplement, and letting people know that that's the advantage of using Dioscovite in comparison to older alternatives that's out there in managing pain management for sickle cell patients. So therefore, once I did hear about the Dioscovite, I said this is something I had to let not only the support group members, but also any sickle cell patient that's suffering from the illness to know that they do have options beside the standard care that may be a better choice for them in staying healthy and without worrying about all the side effects. So definitely it's one of the programs that I educate patients on. I tell them about Dioscovite and give them the option to read and learn about it. But most important, not only reading and learning, but actually taking the product, because that's when you're going to make a difference in your healthcare. Knowing about it is one thing, but applying it is another story. So therefore, to see results, you have to take it, you have to apply it. But there's always those doubts, and that's why you read all the information and get all the necessary documentation that you may need to take it. But overall, for the past, I would say 3 years so far, a lot of the people here at the support group have been getting benefits from it and outside the support group. So I thank Dr. Agbai for getting in contact with us and giving us the information about the Dioscovite and sharing it with others as we're doing now to share other people's story and let them know that there's a benefit to the Dioscovite.
My name is Karen Conyers, and I'm a sickle cell patient. I have SS. I've been using Dioscovite for probably about a year and a half now. I highly recommend this product. Every time I'm in I don't take it on a regular basis, but every time I'm in a crisis or I feel like my body is about to go into a crisis, I would take the Dioscovite, and it helps me a lot. I don't have to take any pain medicine when I'm taking it. I go ahead and take it at the first moment that I'm feeling down or I'm feeling hurt, and it helps with my pain.
My name is James Hart.
I've been using the Ascovite, but see, I call it yam extract about 7 years ago. And usually I basically use it during the winter months because in the summer I'm not that much sick. And so basically I use it, I put it in juice and I take my minerals with it and some other stuff, herbs and vitamin. And basically in the cold weather it's better because to prevent sickness coming on. And it's very good. I recommend it for the young kids and as you get older to learn your body.
Hello, my name is Mary Swinney. My granddaughter, Christen Swinney, has sickle cell anemia SS. Christen has been with pain. We more like lived at Eggleston Children's Hospital every month. We could not get 6 weeks of her being pain-free. The first 3 years of her life, every month we was at Eggleston. We basically lived at Eggleston. I thank God for the resources I came upon when I came to visit the Sickle Cell Anemia Foundation, and they introduced Dioscovite and some multiple vitamins, 73 multivitamins that you cannot get in foods. The Dioscovite has changed my life completely. The Dioscovite stops the pain crisis, and it did do that. We made some life changes with the help of Dr. Richardson. We take the Dioscovite faithfully every morning in some juice. It has changed Kristen's life. She has not been in the hospital. She had 5 years after we started Dioscovite, 5 years of pain-free. She says to me one morning, "Grandma, stop telling people I have sickle cell anemia. I don't have sickle cell no more." I said, "Christen, you have it. You just don't have the pain." And it's a blessing to see her pain-free, to have her live a normal life like other children. Christen had a pain-free vacation last summer. She went on an overnight outing with the Girl Scout for the first time after that. And she's living a normal life. And I thank God for the resources, and I recommend Dioscovite for the children. Every time I hear about the child, I share Dioscovite with them, tell them to go to the Sickle Cell Anemia Foundation. They'll learn all about the Dioscovite. I highly recommend it. A child should not have to suffer the way my child did suffer.
Hello, my name is Linda Gay, and I am a sickle cell anemia patient, and I use Dioscovite on a daily basis to help me control my episodes of pain crisis that I go through. Dioscovite, it eases my pain so that I will not have to go to the emergency room. I think it's a wonderful product to try if you're looking to do some nutritional and something that's not harmful to your body and that's safe and non-toxic. I really suggest that you take Dioscovite. It's a good product. It's not harmful. It increases your red blood cells. It eliminates pain that you will have, chronic pain that you will have on a daily basis. And I highly recommend it to all sickle cell patients. I have been using Dioscovite for 15 years.
Hi, my name is David Smith. I've been taking Dioscovite for about 4 months now. I've noticed that there is a change when I do feel bad as far as what it does to my cells and how it helps me as far as getting out of a pain crisis. I do highly recommend it. Taking it with a lot of fluid, of course, a lot of water, and it's really worked out for me a lot.
My name is Ray Williams. I've been taking Dioscovite for about 6 years. I take it most of the time when I'm feeling the achy coming on, any type of form of crisis. And I take 2 doses.
Hi, my name is Timothy Belo, and I've been taking Dioscovite for about 5 years now. It does Ones, I mean, especially when it changes from the season change, I take it to help prevent from running into a crisis, and it helps. It helps me mainly more on prevention than anything. I see a difference in when I take it and when I don't take it.
Sickle cell anemia or sickle cell disease from the sickle cell anemia is actually a group of hemoglobin abnormalities centering around the sickle cell anomaly with the one amino acid change in one of the rings of the hemoglobin molecule. And actually, it was a survival mechanism to help mostly African people survive epidemics of malaria, because the mosquito didn't like the taste of the sickle cell blood and therefore would as likely bite and infect the patient, even the trade. So it had its function. It also involves Europeans, especially Italians, the darker Europeans, the lower or the southern part of Europe. Sickle cell manifests much worse in the West because of the weather changes, the weather, the coldness, the dampness, and also because of the diet is deficient in thiocyanate. And when I first started treating sickle cell patients, I developed a friendship with Philip Oliver, who is a geneticist at the Sickle Cell Foundation, was looking for doctors to refer to sickle cell patients to. So I got a lot of referrals and treated a lot of sickle cell patients, got to know them, learned a lot from them as far as the sensitivities to the weather. And all I could give them was hospitalizations, drugs, and some transfusions. And of course, I would tell them as much as possible about diet and nutrition, but there was nothing really strong about it until a resident from Morehouse Family Practice department came to me and showed me an article by Dr. O.G. Ugbite, PhD, a clinical biochemist from Oklahoma and originally from Nigeria himself. Very brilliant man. I read the article with interest. I told Mr. Oliver about it. Next thing I know, we had Dr. Ugbite flying to Atlanta, having a meeting with Philip and myself. Next thing I know, we have a supplement called the Dioscovite thiocyanate supplement. And I did initial work in the hospital, Southwest Community Hospital, associated with Morehouse University. And what I did, I had several patients in the hospital at various times. And when I may have done a blood transfusion, I gave them thiocyanate. They took it of their own free will. And they actually were able to build their blood counts up and abate the need for transfusions and felt better. So that was my initial introduction to this, and I've been using it ever since.
All right. So that was the long answer to your question. As you can see, there was a lot of happy people with the Dioscovite. It's been a real life changer for our family. Of course, our son has not had a sickle cell crisis or a hospitalization in over 5 years. Dioscovite and our nutrition plan has been very good, very helpful. It's been great for us. So we have a question that's come in. It says,
can this possibly help with jaundice, hair loss due to low blood count?
okay. Does the colon cleanse have an additional cost, or is it included with the Dioscovite? If additional, what is the cost?
Okay. It will come with the Dioscovite order. In other words, we just provide information of the components of the colon cleanse with the order. We're doing that as a bonus.
Oh, excellent.
There's no additional cost.
Okay. And then another question is, does the nutrition regimen change for children to adults?
No, it's all the same thing, because it's just the same amount of the same kind of food that people need to maintain good bowel movement and energy. It's the same for adults. It's just that the amount will differ, from a child to that of an adult.
Okay. question is, can you take Dioscovite with liquids besides water?
Water is the best because it's a very powerful molecule, and for maximum absorption, you don't want to take it with a fluid or juice that will that Dioscovite can interact with. Like I already told you before, you need to keep 2 hours gap between Dioscovite and anything else. That includes the fluid that you're using taking it. So the best fluid to take is warm water.
Okay. And for an adult, what's the correct dosage to start taking Dioscovite?
For an adult, we still want to just 1 ml. Everybody should start with just with 1 ml, except when you're in crisis. When you're in crisis, then you can take 1 ml 2 times. But just for the regular maintenance or prevention, in other words, supplement daily regimen, it's good just take 1 ml immediately after breakfast in water, and then if you when the weather changes or if for any reason you start having fever or cold or something like that, then you do it twice. You do 1 ml after breakfast, then around 6 o'clock in the evening, you take another dose to deal with that cold. Never ever take Dioscovite at night because it gives so much energy. And if you take it at night, it provides so much energy, it's gonna keep you awake. You don't want to be awake at night because your body heals when you're sleeping. So don't do yourself a disservice by taking this thing at night. You should take the latest you can take Dioscovite is 6 p.m. I hope I'm making myself clear. This is very, very important. We have seen that when people take it at night, they say they stayed awake all night long because of that energy it's giving to people. So you need that energy in the morning after breakfast. That will carry you throughout the whole day. Tomorrow morning, you start over with another boost of energy by taking Dioscovite, 1 ml of Dioscovite after breakfast.
Okay, and that information is on the bottle. So when you get the bottle of Dioscovite, it's going to tell you on the front of it the serving size, which is 1 ml. And then when you turn it around on the back side, what happens is it shows you the different ages, 6 months to 12.5, 1 milliliter for adults, and then it goes up based on if you're in a crisis and you need to be taking it. So a lot of the information as far as the dosage is on the bottle. A follow-up question is, can this possibly help with jaundice and hair loss due to low blood count? No, it's not sold on Amazon.
Can you help with what again?
Can this help with jaundice and hair loss due to low blood count?
Yes. No. Yes, it helps with all those things. Actually, the reason why people have jaundice is because their cells are breaking apart so quickly because of the hemolysis due to low oxygen. So Dioscovite provide a lot of oxygen and prevent that hemolysis. See, when the cells are hemolyzed prematurely, they convert it into bilirubin, which is a yellow pigment that shows up in jaundice in the eyes. And so the Dioscovite daily supplement, daily regimen, daily supplement of Dioscovite will prevent that from happening in the first place. But if you happen to notice that because of other challenges on the body, then that's when you're gonna need that double dosing.
Okay. I think we're up to speed with all of our questions. We're at 12:04 right now. So yeah, I think this is a very ancient solution for being able to manage not just sickle cell, but other chronic diseases that our community finds themselves.
Right. On that note, like I said, because of the fact that it provides oxygen to the body, many infections, germs do not like oxygen, and abnormal growths do not like oxygen. So you got a system that's going to poison those germs and those abnormal growths with the influx of oxygen. So really, what I'm saying is that Dioscovite is for everybody. Everybody needs that to prevent some of this common problem that are really due to nutritional deficiencies, which Dioscovite provides, and then oxygen deficiency, which Dioscovite provides.
Okay.
So Christen, there will have some other questions I think that I have prompted myself. We just take a quick 4-minute break so that people can fill out the questionnaire for us for what's happened so far. If we can keep you guys on for a little bit longer, just so that we can have some other questions that I have prompted up to be asked, so that we can go through those, and then however much ever information you guys have for us, that would be great to share. But we're going to take a quick break. Everybody, please do me a favor, take a look at your chat box. It's sent to the community. This is the link that we need for you guys to toggle onto, select it, and then advise us on the information asked to you on how we can do things better, okay? We will get back to the call or the webinar at 12:10. If you guys can, within your taskbar, if you could at least give a raised hand that you have finished, look at the reactions taskbar and give us a raised hands that you have finished the questionnaire. That'd be great to know. Thank you. As we heard earlier in the session, or at least saw in the chat box, that we have a participant that's a part of our group right now that had the ability to take this extract for the past not necessarily for the past few months, for a set of a few months. So we want to go to Rochelle Richard to give us some feedback around her experience with it. Rochelle, the mic is yours.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, I was taking the liquid yam actually, I got in contact with Christen and he linked me with Dr. Ojai, and we had an extensive conversation of what I was dealing with my sickle cell. It was basically a lot of hip pain, and, I expressed to him that in the next, so many years, I might have to have a hip replacement, and they wanted to start doing these cortisone shots, and I was just not ready for that, and I didn't want to start getting prepared for that. So that's just me. It's like, I don't know who they was talking about. That's how I see things when, like, nah, I'm tired of poking, I'm tired of surgeries.
Yes,
I'm tired of warrior scars, and so it was a very extensive, detailed conversation, which I am really, really grateful for, because I've learned, having the opportunity and talking with him, he shared a lot of valuable wisdom and insight of how I can just continue to advocate and have more control over my health. And so when I was telling him about my hip issues, and he was like, I'm gonna, start you on at Dioscovite, and I took it. It was truly, truly amazing, and I really felt energy, and I really felt oxygen. It's kind of weird to explain and weird to say, but you can actually feel the difference. Honest to God, you really can. And so I was taking it, faithfully, and so all of a sudden, it was like I started to get a little bit of palpation, in my heart, like it would skip rhythms. And I'm like, okay, so I'm going to experiment on my own self before I recommend anything to anybody. So I stopped taking it just to see if that was the issue. And so I stopped taking it for like 2 to 3 months, and I noticed that it didn't, that it had stopped. And so that's why I asked the question, was it related to my heart rate, taking it as much, or should I have done it periodically, you know, because it really, really made a difference. I had energy. The minute that a crisis came on, I was ahead of the game. I could, you know, do my warm water. I could do the liquid and just rest without taking any pain medicine. Seriously, really. And I just, you know, I speak truth, you know, because it's just like, I hope my truthfulness resonate with a lot of other people with sickle cell, that this is so worth trying, that it's unbelievable, you know, and it's something that was created and designed for people with sickle cell, which, you know, you don't have that. They're not going to inform you of that. They're not going to inform you better ways in eating, you know, and exercising and just meditating. They're not going to share all this. Those that think they know but know nothing at all. So I would put my life on the line to recommend this to sickle cell patients, because I'm very skeptical. I have to ask 1,000 questions all over again to say, okay, all right, this sounds about right. I can kind of trust this person with life, with this information. So I'm gonna restart it again. And I guess I have to just gradually do it with a lower dose and from there, because it's truly amazing. It's truly amazing, and it, like I said, I'm really honored to link with Christian and Dr. Obaji to tell me about this. So I'm gonna restart it, and I'm gonna see, because I have been, you know, getting sick a lot. This has been a brutal winter for me, and so I'm not trying to have no surgeries. I'm not trying to have any of that. So if I can keep oxygen in my blood, I can stay productive and pain free. So I would highly recommend it on everything I love. In fact, I have a bottle left, and I'm going to give it to my friend who is really critically ill from dealing with iron overload, and all of the coagulation medications are not working. Every day she's in pain. So I'm going to give her a bottle. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing the story, Rochelle. I mean, you know, Christen, I know we've had this conversation on multiple occasions, and you've kind of pushed this agenda and message to a lot of people. The concept around people that are specifically in the Western civilization that don't really experience this issue, trying to build alternatives and cures for us, right? You know, you've had a lot of, you've taken a lot of issue with that situation, and being mindful of that it's important for, not necessarily for us to just be prejudicing this notion, but getting the opportunity to see more people that are probably like us, probably experiencing the same thing as us, or dealing with family members in the same respect, coming up with these opportunities for holistic curatives, or at least holistic alternatives. You know, how do you feel about, like, just your feeling around that for your son?
Well, I feel like, you know, the brother Dr. Love, who sold GPT to Pfizer. I think that could be somebody that could be influential enough to purchase, you know, a lot of Dioscovite, so that people within the sickle cell community can have easy accessibility. This is the same way when you go to the hospital and you get penicillin, and they got that for you every time you come, or how easy it is for you to get a blood transfusion. You know, I think we have to create the conditions for ourselves using the resources that we have available within our community to create the change that we need. You know, like we're here, we're looking for the resources.
The alternative.
It's not always the conditions that we create for ourselves that that offer the opportunities that we need. So we have to be able to look at what we have available to ourselves and work towards creating the conditions. And that's been the only agenda that I've been pushing since I found out that that our son has sickle cell as well. As how is it that we can create the conditions to create a healthy life, a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
And as we move closer and closer to finding out exactly what's needed to maintain our health and wellness, we have to. Are you okay, Miss Andy?
Yeah.
We have to also consider, resources. So we have, a brother who just sold a sickle cell company for maybe $1 billion. Maybe, I'm not sure. Definitely sold it for over $1 million. And then it's pharmaceutical driven. But then we have another brother who has a nutritional supplement that has been proven over time to not be a pharmaceutical, but be a food-based product that can prevent the cells from sickling.
Yeah.
But the bridge in between these two polarities needs to be, the space between these two polarities need to be bridged.
Yep.
We have a brother coming from the continent of Africa, and then we have Dr. Love, who was more than likely born and raised here in the States. How is it that we can take these two giants and bridge these connections to be able to make these solutions more accessible to our community? And I think that is what's the next level for this, right? We have to use this as a launching pad for the next level. We have to use the technologies that are available here in the Western world, and we have to use the natural resources that are developing on the continent of Africa, and we have to take it upon ourselves to merge these realities to create the conditions that produce an intergenerational health and wellness life.
Yeah.
So
it's a good segue. It's a really good segue that that we have this opportunity for that monologue between the two of you, because we're going right into that comparative study. So let's dive into it.
Okay, so this is a comparative study on anti-sickling properties of thiocyanate, tellurite, and hydroxyurea. So most of us have probably never heard of tellurite before, but we've definitely heard of hydroxyurea. We hear of hydroxyurea because that's what they're pushing.
Yep.
That's a part of the agenda. That's the standard of care within the sickle cell community.
Yep.
Thiocyanate, we've heard of it through our presentation today, but maybe we've gone years without hearing about thiocyanate, right? So this is coming from the Pakistan Journal of Medical Studies. It's published by Professional Medical Publications, and it was published in March 2008. So this information has been around for a long time. So we'll just briefly go through this. I want to take about 5 minutes, and then we can take some questions from this and do some questions and answers. So the abstract here is the objective is thiocyanate, hydroxyurea, and tellurite are among chemical agents being used as anti-sickling drugs and currently receiving attention for research. The anti-sickling properties of these drugs was investigated and compared in this study. So this is an investigation that's going on through a scientific journal, right, out of Pakistan Medical Sciences. So this is an investigation. So this is serious stuff right here.
Right.
Right. So the methodology, human. This is the process in which they were able to gather information as a part of this investigation. Human sickle blood was incubated with the drugs in vitro at concentrations related to the dose used by patients in vivo. Hemoglobin function and specific aspects of the sickling process was then measured by employing standard methods used in a screening potential anti-sickling agents. The results: all the drugs significantly inhibited sickling of deoxygenated sickle blood and formation of irreversible sickle cell in a dose and time dependent manner. So what they're saying here is saying that every one of them, the hydroxyurea, the thiocyanate, and the tellurite, they all significantly inhibited the sickling of deoxygenated sickle blood. So they're saying that everyone served a function in preventing the cells from sickling. Thiocyanate, hydroxyurea, and tellurite inhibited sickling optimal at 20 mm for hydroxyurea, 40 mm for tellurite, or 20 mm for thiocyanate, 40 mm for hydroxyurea, and 50 for hydroxyurea, and 40 for hydroxyurea and 50 for tellurite, excuse me, respectively. Thiocyanate and hydroxyurea prolong sickle red blood cell lifespan as indicated in the parameters. The three drugs also cause significant prolongation of delayed time of hemoglobin S. Polymerized, while thiocyanate and hydroxyurea significantly increase both solubility ratio and oxygen affinity of hemoglobin. The conclusion is results obtained in this study suggest that the three drugs have remarkable anti-sickling potential in vitro, with thiocyanate being the most effective, followed by tellurite. So that means out of these three particular approaches to managing sickle cell, hydroxyurea was the third. It was last.
So why are they pushing it? Like it's like, like it's so
they must
incredible.
be getting paid from it. That's why they're pushing it. It has to be some type of economic interest on either their ability to manufacture it and distribute it within the sickle cell community. The cost may be low and they may be getting an insurance to cover that. That might be creating some type of profit module there. But the fact that they're not incorporating thiocyanate, which can be naturally occurring in food, but more so, linked to a pharmaceutical or a chemical that's more situated on chemotherapy patients. I would, my sociological perspective is that these institutions have found a way that they can either generate a small, revenue from it, or it's just like a teacher, right? Like if you go to college and you have a professor who has a friend who wrote a book and they make that book the standard reading for their course. It's the same thing, it's just, that's from my perspective. Dr. Oji, would you like to chime in on that? Like, why would they be pushing one instead of the other when this investigation clearly states that thiocyanate is the leading anti-sickling approach?
Yes. I'm so glad about this study because this confirms what research has already shown, that thiocyanate, which is the active ingredient in Dioscovite, is the best in the world. I'm so glad this additional study in Pakistan really confirmed that. And that's why we should not wait for anyone else to tell us to use it when already God had provided us the opportunity and everything to enable us to demonstrate that it is the best, and we don't have to wait for them to put it as a part of the hospital treatment. But it's our right, based on the Dietary Supplement Health and Education Act of 1994, that dietary supplement is the way to go now, it's the way of the future. So that's what we are doing with Dioscovite here. It doesn't have to go through the pharmaceutical for it to be utilized. This is a very great opportunity we're having today to let our people know about the power of this product that is saving lives for more than 30 years now. And this is the time for our people to go ahead and get on it, and don't wait to receive it in any other place. They cannot use it in the hospitals anyway because we have a patent on it anyway. So this is the best place for you to get it, through us. All right?
Thank you. Thank you. So
That's interesting.
yeah, it's just,
That's
we have to create the conditions to solve our own problems.
right.
That's what this conversation is ultimately about, is us being able to create the conditions for ourselves. Because we can't expect others to do it for us.
No, not at all. At all, period. It's just not gonna happen.
It's just not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen.
The
Can't
fact
even
that
be
this,
hopeful on that.
I think, even with this study coming out in 2008, this may be the first time for a lot of us that have seen it. And in a world where sickle cell advocacy, it was a priority in these hospitals, this may have been a study that our doctors were going over with us. Once the information was released, they gave
Yeah.
us an option to consider broadening the scope of information, and that just wasn't the case. So I appreciate the sickle cell anemia awareness of San Francisco for creating a platform and the space for us to have this conversation, because this is really groundbreaking information that we are discussing today. And this is a conversation that has the potential to have a huge paradigm shift on our health and wellness and bring us to a more optimized state. But I think right now what we're doing is we're giving ourselves an opportunity to disseminate and also, to disseminate this knowledge and information. But we also want to take it a step further with us today actually getting the Dioscovite, and then also creating the conditions where we can potentially move forward to getting them at a wholesale rate, because we're purchasing so much of it at one time that we have enough to go through seasons of it. We have enough to be able to provide our brothers and sisters with it who may not have ever heard of it before. But we have so much of it, that we could potentially give it to somebody at a discounted rate when they need it. But I want us to look at Dioscovite as a cultural product for our community, the same way we use shea butter. The same way, a lot of us will understand yams or collard greens. We need
Right.
to have that same relationship with Dioscovite as a nutritional supplement for supporting our nutritional needs. We need to take it serious, because we're moving into a time where planning for the future is going to happen a little bit differently than it has been in the past. And when you hear people saying we need to stockpile up on food, well, we also need to stockpile up on these nutritional supplements so that, when the time comes and we can't get in contact with, folks like we had the privilege of in the past, that we have these resources still available for ourselves. And I think that could be the goal for this conversation too, is that this is not just a matter of genetic survival. This is also a matter of spiritual evolution as well. And I think it's very spiritual that we can have a brother who was able to look at our genetics on a molecular level,
Yep.
have access to a laboratory
Absolutely.
to conduct studies using certain molecules that influence our blood in a certain way. That's spiritual,
Yep.
So we need to give thanks and take this to the next level.
There's a couple of questions. There's a couple of questions in the chat.
This is exciting. The studies we did enabled us to get that patent. And like I said, that was patented in 1990. And this study in Pakistan was done in 2008. That was, 2008. So, yeah. And we've been shipping it all over the world. So this is the time, America, where the study was done. This is the best place to really sell this product to every family in America that need it, because this is where the research was done. Yeah, we're sending it everywhere. We're sending it to the Middle East, we're sending it to Europe, sending it to countries in Africa. And yeah, we're sending it everywhere. So this is the best place, like our brother Priya said, this is the time for us to pull all the resources, all the rich people who have all this money. They need to invest millions trying to get Dioscovite to free people to people who cannot afford it. After
Right.
all, that money is gonna go nowhere. If that person dies today, he will not even recognize a penny. So why don't you put it in something that can help for the survival of people? Yeah. This okay. Another thing, our people.
So what would be the price to buy wholesale, and how many bottles would you get?
Dr. OG? I know in the past I spent about different times. I probably spent about close to $3,000 with Dr. OG, and I probably got. I think at one point I spent $500 with him, and I got about 30 bottles. So it brought the price down significantly. And I was able to give a lot of bottles away. Brothers and sisters that were telling us about their issues, with sickle cell, and I would just give them one, and but what I did notice is that giving it away kind of like deflated the value of it too, because when you do make that purchase, you're invested, opposed to somebody giving something to you. In some cases, you give something to somebody and they really appreciate it, they go do their research on it, they're taking it, and it's a life changer. But I think that's rare.
Yeah.
When people are paying for it, I think the first time I bought one from Dr. OG, it was $100, and I was able to get 2 bottles.
Yeah.
And I think maybe about 2 years ago, I spent about $1,200 with Dr. OG, and I think I got maybe like 60 bottles or something like that, and that was big, because we're still, every time I don't get 1 bottle at a time from Dr. OG anymore. I get enough that's going to last for about a year, and then that also gives me an opportunity to give.
So for it to last a year, how many bottles is that? Like
12.
12?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, one bottle
Lasts a month,
for
right?
about a year, depending on how
Okay.
many people are using the bottle too.
Okay. Yeah, because when I first started, I was just browsing because I just got tired of just feeling like this, like very hopeless, and all this pain and all these, narcotics, and just what it does to my spirit, you know what I'm saying? And so I was just Googling. It was like 3 in the morning. Everything happens at 3 in the morning. I don't know. But I came across his son. And so I was communicating with his son, and we were emailing back and forth. And when I first bought my bottle, it was like 100 and something. But that was a while back. And I did it, and it worked. And then, I faded out again, and then again it was brought back into my energy. So I revisited, and it really does work. So I'm gonna have to get back on my game and purchase.
Hey, Chris,
12.
Yeah.
there's a few questions in the chat box. If you could take a look at those.
Okay, so I'm responding to one, which was the last one, as far as where is the platform that is being sold at. We have it at creationofsociety.com. And so that's where I'm going to suggest we get it from within this group, because it gives us also an opportunity to practice group economics as well. Of course, the number for Dr. OG, you can always pick the phone up and just give Dr. OG a call. And what he'll do is he'll just take down your information, and you can work that out with him, which is the same thing that I would be doing. I mean, you purchase it from Creation Society. What happens is I give Dr. OG that information. He sends the bottle to whoever ordered it, and then I'm able to to make the payment arrangements with Dr. OG. And we do that just so, none of us are really overwhelmed with, it's just a system that we've created to support ourselves as a community. So I would say that would be a good process that we've already, myself and Dr. OG have been working on for some time now, for the last few years, of just creating a system that allows for us to get Dioscovite into the hands of our sickle cell warriors. Dr. Oji, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, so there is a question that has come in for you. And it is, can you advise for the sales side how much the reach of the product has traveled? So I think you've already answered that question. Do we have any data to show that over the past 6 to 8 years since the beginning of Dioscovite in that region, it has been spread past this border? That question is might need some clarity on that one. Do
I
we have
guess
any?
the question was just to understand, like, as if you look at the YouTube video, it was obviously based in Atlanta, and it took us 8 years here in California. I mean, 6 years or more in California to find out that this actually happened, and not necessarily originated there, but it started there. So, like, when we're thinking about this, is there anything from his knowledge of, hey, look, we started here, but we've really seen through ourselves, we've really seen through that it's really making an impact in the region where Memphis is, or in the region where Chicago is, things like that. Is there any way to find that information out so that we understand that this really is making an impact?
No, it really is making an impact, brother. I mean, you got to be able to find value in the one person who says, yeah. Sometimes it's the quality over the quantity. And we may not necessarily have access to the CDC data of everybody taking thiocyanate, over a long period of time, because we know what the system is funneled to influence us in a certain direction. And so while that might not be the case, I can personally advocate for, my own child, as a reality. This is the reality, brother. The reality is when we change our nutrition plans and we implement Dioscovite as a nutritional supplement, and we focus on plant-based nutrition, we can control the way that our cells function. And then there's a concept called epigenetics, which dives a little bit deeper into that understanding, which is how does our environment and the foods influence our genetics. And that's what the primary understanding of just a holistic approach to health and wellness is. So, as far as being able to get hundreds of people who are using, Dioscovite, and thousands of people, I think if there was hundreds of thousands of people using Dioscovite, we wouldn't even be having this conversation right now. Because sickle cell would be something that we wouldn't have to look at from a perspective of illness or crisis, or, you see what I'm saying? So let's reimagine the conversation. Let's say that this is the launching pad. Let's say, like, out of California, out of San Francisco, out of the Bay Area, we had a conversation that's going to have a domino effect on how we understand food as medicine moving forward. So I think it's important for us to use the past as a vantage point, but also to be able to understand the potential of what our future is if we're living healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is the doorway for us to be living healthy right now.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So is there a network of institutions, physicians, etc., where Dr. Oji can see how the influence of this product is growing? I assume it's global.
This question was asked as he was going through the discussion of sending it to Africa, India, and so forth. So that's already been in.
Okay, and there's a follow-up question that says, is there a shelf life for each product?
Yes, shelf life is always written on the bottle. A shelf life, 3.5 years. Shelf life.
3.5 years.
Product we sell, we will always indicate that shelf life. All right.
Cool.
And the whole thing about it, let me make an additional comment on this about the global impact. So the studies done, of course, the one done here that enabled us to get a patent on it, and the trademark and registration in the most advanced country in the world. The whole thing before they give you a patent here, they make you sweat blood because they have to scrutinize. It has to be very serious scientific scrutiny because a patent means a permanent record and global record of an inventor. So they can't mess with it. And that's why they could not resist giving us a patent on this. So that's one of the strongest evidences. And then supported by international studies like the one in Pakistan, from Pakistan, showing that Dioscovite was patented in 1990, and then this started done in 2 or 8 years after. Shows that we are number one in the whole thing, and we took the scientific research to the highest level in the world by providing those pictures with electron microscopy, very, very expensive equipment. Nobody, and that's why the patent office could not resist giving it to us, because nobody has ever done anything like that in the world. And so that's the product we're bringing to our people, all right? To bring our people here, because it's because I found out there's such a proliferation of the problem here. That's what enabled me to get started on investigating to find an answer. And I chose that answer to African diet, and I analyzed the African yam and found that it has abundance of thiocyanate. And then when I analyzed American food, like the carrots and all that sort of thing, they did not have much. So that's how I got the whole link that this thing is a nutritional problem, and the problem has been solved by Dioscovite dietary supplements.
Excellent.
So after 3 years, is it not safe to take Dioscovite?
Doctor,
What did she say?
after 3 years, if it's sitting on the shelf, is it no longer safe to take it?
Oh, okay.
No, I keep it in the refrigerator.
After 2.5 years, even though we said 2.5 years, yeah, that's what it is. But actually, the whole thing is stable indefinitely. I don't want to say that more. I don't want to say much about it. But make sure you use up your product before it expires. That's all I can say.
Yeah, he
But
said.
as far as stability and sterility, it's actually very stable. Let me just put it that way, okay? So
Yeah.
make sure you read you read the label and find out the expiration date, and you buy enough of it to have used them all before the expiration date. Okay?
Okay. Is it safe to keep it in the refrigerator?
Is it safe to keep it in the refrigerator?
Yes, it's better to keep it in the refrigerator.
Okay, it's better to keep it in the refrigerator.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's why I was wondering if I kept it in the refrigerator, would it still expire within 3 years?
Okay, if it was kept in the refrigerator, will it still expire in 3 years? I believe he said it would last up to 7 years.
Okay, all right.
Right,
Thank
exactly.
you.
Okay.
Is the yam extract good for folks with the sickle cell trait or without the trait?
The Dioscovite is good for everybody.
Yeah, it's good for everybody.
Because it provides energy for everybody needs energy. People with sickle cell traits also, and even those who don't have the trait of any kind, who don't have any kind of anemia, those who are AA, it does not matter. Everybody needs energy, and that's what Dioscovite, like that sister mentioned, that it gives a lot of energy. That's what everybody needs. It doesn't just for people with SS. Every human being needs Dioscovite to provide energy. Okay. Especially in the sport world. In the sport world, they need energy to give them competitive edge over other non-users. Everybody needs Dioscovite. And again, too, we have found out other uses. People with prostate problem, cancer, prostate, breast, colon, fibroids, blood pressure issues. So many other uses. Because of, again, that oxygen fixes everything. Oxygen provides life, and blood boost. So that's what Dioscovite does, because when it opens up the cell membrane, allow oxygen to get in, that's the beginning of life. when a child is born, the first sign that somebody is alive is that the child will breathe oxygen. And so over the years, the ability to maintain maximum oxygen decreases. And then Dioscovite will come in and boost that oxygen by opening up the cell membrane. Also, is one of the things that stimulates stem cells. You see, that stem cells cannot circle in the womb because of the presence of fetal hemoglobin. And fetal hemoglobin, Dioscovite, that's one of the things Dioscovite does. It stimulates fetal hemoglobin, which cannot sickle. So all these type of things, and that's the reason why a mother, when a child is diagnosed with sickle cell in the womb, the mother should start taking Dioscovite to supply oxygen for the baby and for herself. And we'll give a lot of speedy. And in case of pregnancy, delivery, we also have a formula that supports quick delivery and also something that can support the pregnancy as a whole. So there are a lot of benefits in using Dioscovite, not just for people with SCAASF, but for everybody.
Thank you. Another question is Dr. Oji and Mr. Brown. You guys take the extract yourselves as well? Yes.
Yes, and I do, of course.
Yes. Yeah, I take it, and we also consume the African yam as well, which can be, of course, bought at import-export African and Caribbean markets. I put in this chat, somebody is asking about the dietary changes that we've made. We've been vegetarians for about 11 years. So that's what I will say is that's a change that that we've made is really minimizing animal flesh, really minimizing the chips and the candy. We don't drink any soda. Children have never eaten McDonald's or Burger King or Taco Bell or anything like that. Home cooked meals and vegetables, fruits. You know, that's what we advocate for. But what I have put in is I put in a link to Back to Our Roots, Food for the Gods. And that was a book that when my son was first diagnosed, this was one of the first books that I was reading, as well as Dr. Layla Africa's book. And this is actually the book that led me to Dr. Oji.
Right.
Food for the Gods. So
Christen, do you do rice and bread?
Not so much. Try not to eat a lot of bread. Try not to eat a lot of rice. Instead of rice, we substituted it for quinoa.
Gotcha.
So we advocate for the quinoa. We do eat rice sometimes, burritos, things like that. Eating out, in different Indian places that we might go to, rice. But just try not to use that as a staple. But you can get black rice. I would say black rice is really good. We get that from Seafood City. It's a place where you'll see a lot of Asian people eating from out here in Toronto.
Okay.
Black rice is pretty healthy. As far as the bread, we do eat bread. Try to get like a multi-wheat bread, like multi-grain or even like sourdough. Don't really try to do like a lot of like white bread, stuff like that. I eat bread. I do avocado toast. We do avocado toast from time to time. So
on that note about bread, you need to eat them with salad, for instance, because bread is so dry and it's gonna constipate you. You have to eat bread with either something like celery or broccoli sandwich. And but in terms of grains, one grain I recommend is barley, B-A-R-L-E-Y.
Barley? Yeah, we use barley.
Yes, barley, grain. Those is one of, it has a very low glycemic index. It does not spike the blood sugar. And it's one of the grains that that's what I use anyway. It is one of the breads I recommend. But even if you are eating barley bread, you need to eat that with celery sandwich or broccoli or cabbage, because, and the same thing happens if you are eating chicken. You need to, before you eat chicken, you need to first of all eat an apple. Before you eat chicken or fish, you need to eat any of those sandwiches to provide enzyme and fiber, because those foods, any food that is cooked, number one, they are difficult to digest because the enzymes have been destroyed and the fiber have been destroyed. The integrity of those things are restored when you incorporate a part of our clean colon formula, which will include something like broccoli, celery, and things like that. Right?
Okay. I'll put another book, African Holistic Health by Layla Africa, in the chat. That was a very helpful book. Gave some good tips as far as managing sickle cell, as well as other chronic diseases within our community as well. So that's a good one. Dr. Oji and his wife actually have a cookbook as well. So at any point, hopefully we have written down Dr. Oji's number. You can give him a call to get the cookbook. I will see if I can put that number back in the chat again. But
We have a question from Edward.
Okay.
Yes, it's about sweet potatoes and yams. I know it's pushed from Dr. Oji to use the Ghana yam. My question is, what is the difference of sweet potatoes and yams in mental and health? When nutritionists show that more nutrition is in sweet potatoes than yams, is it because of the more potassium in yams and the more magnesium in yams?
Dr. Oji, did you hear that question?
Yeah, what's the difference between potatoes and yams, right?
Yes, sweet potatoes and yams.
Yes, they are different. The yam, actually, the yam we're talking about is the African yam. That's a Dioscovite species. Dioscovite is totally different from potato. And so the African yam has the thiocyanate and the potato doesn't. So that's a huge difference between two of them. All right? And so, but the beauty of our product is the fact that it can be conveniently used, and when people take it, they will know the exact amount of thiocyanate that they'll be needing to maintain that energy and good blood health and things like that. You don't know, especially children. Children do not eat enough, so you don't know how much yam you can give them to get anything. But our system is measured completely, and that's what it's a matter of eating the yam, but at the same time making sure you take the Dioscovite. The yam is more like a backup, but it's not the only thing, because you don't know exactly how much you're getting in each meal of yam that you're taking. But you know exactly what you're getting when you take a Dioscovite that comes with a medicine drug, calibrated.
When you have the African yam, because Christen, you had mentioned that you eat that as well. Where are you buying that?
I buy it from a Jamaican spot out here in Sassoon. They have the white yam and the yellow yam, and so those are different variations of the yam. You know, they call them tubers. Sure. So you can get either or, and usually, if you're in Oakland, there's a store in downtown called Africa Must Wake. They
Yeah.
sell them as well. But if you go to pretty much any Caribbean or African grocery store,
Yeah.
you know, this is a staple that's eaten
Sure.
around the world. So they,
Okay.
you know, you can definitely get it at those places as well.
Now, I asked
Awesome.
that question because some places in the U.S. it's very hard to find yams. The sweet potatoes as being indigenous, you always find those in the stores.
No, it's not hard to find it at all, brother. I think that might be a misconception. I mean, it was extremely easy for me to find it.
Oh,
And,
this is California, but in the other
Wow.
states, it's
Oh, in the
California, but in the other states.
Yeah. So I would think that, you know, anywhere where there's an African population, I would imagine in Atlanta it's probably very easy to get. Probably in Washington, D.C. and Florida, they're probably really easy to get. California, I know that they're really easy to get. And I think, you know, those areas there, we could create a system of getting it to our brothers and sisters in these different areas, you know, in other places that may not have it. But say, for instance, we have somebody that we know in Minnesota, and you know, they don't have African yams. Well, they can get in contact with one of us, or say they got in contact with me. What I would do is I would go purchase the yams. They would give me money to purchase them, and that money would also include the shipping of it to them. And what we can do is we can go purchase it for them and put it in the mail and send it to them. We just got to work together to solve our problem. We got to create the conditions for us to be healthy.
Okay.
Right. That would be a very great support with Dioscovite. So that's what we find out that when you do Dioscovite along with the yam, you get better results. All right, because they will support each other. So with the known amount of thiocyanate you're getting from our product, and then the unknown amount you're gonna get from the yam, the combination of using them will get the best results. And so the people who are in the areas where they are available, you know, like people in Atlanta, they know there are a lot of stores in Atlanta that sell the yam, but they went ahead and used Dioscovite anyway. But that's what they found out. It was a lot more effective and a lot more convenient. And that's what produced the video that you guys saw today on Panel Abraham. All right, so that'll be a general plan for the whole country. To buy the Dioscovite, and then they need to also get the yam to the program you're talking about, where they send money and then you buy the yams and ship it to them. But then, of course, what about damage on transit or spoilage? But anyway, what I'm saying is a combination of both of them will be ideal to really resolve the whole issue about sickle and other problems that arise from the deficiency of this of the yam.
Awesome.
Okay, so I think that will conclude all the information that needs to be disseminated about this topic.
Yes, sir.
We have the product available online. The product is ordered today. It will be sent out on Monday, and you can be receiving your products as early as Wednesday.
Beautiful.
Right.
Again, I like that colon cleanse that comes with it. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. That'd be the way to go. That way, they can get that discount because you're giving to them what, at 65, right?
64.
Oh, 64. Okay, 64. Okay, that's fine. That's the best place they can get it at such a discounted rate. So let them get on and help themselves and don't have to wait for programs. We don't know how long it will take for Dr. Love to respond, but the immediate family members who are there, they show the quickest means of support. That families plan to support their family members, and each paycheck, every family member put out $20 toward getting Dioscovite. Everybody do that, and you should have enough to get Dioscovite for somebody. It's easier to to support life with a small amount than allowing the person to go through the crisis that comes with the crisis and the hospitalization and things like that that comes with the deprivation of this essential products. So let the families team up, all right? Let everyone team up and help each other. And not only are they helping the one with said, they're also helping themselves, because we want to do something that's going to ward off the problems with the prostate, with the colon, with the breast, the fibroids, and all these other things that come, blood pressures, diabetes, all these problems. We have packages for all of these things, not just Dioscovite now. Rodrigo can also send you guys our catalog, which is up to 29 different things that people can utilize to help family support for themselves and members of their family.
Beautiful. Okay. If you haven't for all those that are participating, Christen has left a lot of the linking information to books, websites, and so forth, where you can find the research that we've talked about today. You could also find nutrition tips from the book. You could also use the link that was posted here for you to get to Creation of Society, so that you can buy the thiocyanate extract for yourselves and many other people that are more than likely needing it. And just so that we make sure that we emphasize specifically for the sickle cell community, this is an incredible product to use right away. And then for those that are not necessarily dealing specifically with the disease themselves, but just regular people that are supportive and want to be on the same page as well as wellness concerned, this is also a product for you to be using at the same time. Like I said before at the beginning of this presentation, this will be, I'm going to take over the screen share. This will be a this is a recorded session. So this is going to be edited and posted onto our website. So just please make sure that you guys are doing your best to search these platforms that we've made available for you. Here's our Instagram page right here. I'll type in SCAASF.org. Then you can see pretty much how to get a hold of us, how to find out who the speakers were if you don't know their names or can't remember. Anything else that you might have missed by not being present with us today, you will have the opportunity to get that as a whole. We do have other platforms like our YouTube channel that's going to be available for you to get this entire video so that you can review it. Listen to some of the really good nuggets that were given out to us today. If you want to hear them over again, write them down, take information. Let me get to my YouTube channel. It's SCAASF. There we go. You can basically see it down here at your screen. Please subscribe. Right now, we have about 63 people that are consistent subscribers of the 115 videos that we have available to them. And that's only increasing by the month. So thank you so much again for your continued support. We do have another session that's going on in the following month of May. But in the meantime, another thing that we're going to try to promote as much as possible is in June, we are going to provide one of our annual events for a sickle cell community. It's going to be in Oakland. So we have two events, one that's in the East Bay and another that is in San Francisco. Our major one is San Francisco, but we're trying to really make a footprint in Oakland because we know that that's another region in the Bay Area that we need to support in this space as well, because everybody needs a handout and we want to be there to be able to put that hand out or to give them a shoulder that they can lean on. Final statements from us. Please make sure that if you have not filled out the questionnaire, please do so as quickly as you possibly can before we get off of this call, because once everybody gets off this call, we won't have this chat box information for you to be able to sift through to get that. For those that did fill those out, thank you so much for the continued support. This is going to continue to improve how our webinars are produced and the presenters that we provide you to have an opportunity to get your hands on, talk to it, and you may not necessarily have those in your everyday lives. We're going to keep getting those guys in, those ladies in, so that we can keep giving you the resource that you need, that Christen Brown talks so adamantly about needing to have in this community. Other than that, Nadine will be back with us next month. Thank you so much for your continued support and attendance. We will talk to you guys soon.
Peace.
All right, peace.
Bye.